So, good morning from Xining, the capital of Qinghai province up here in the northwest of China. I just picked up my bike from the shipping depot. I had it shipped on the back of a truck all the way from Gonghe up to Xining here. But it turns out in the process, the guy siphoned all the fuel out of my tank. So just to drive 5 kilometers from the shipping depot to the gas station here behind me, I was stalling the whole way here. And whenever I was going down a hill, I'd have to shut off the engine because really I had no fuel. Then when I got here, they said to me, oh, sorry, motorcycles aren't allowed to gas up here. So I made a little bit of a scene and I explained, okay, well, I have no fuel. There's literally, I cannot drive anywhere. I took all the fuel I had just to get to this one gas station here. So then they said, okay, take your passport, take your driver's license and register here. And we take a photo of all your documents and then you can get 10 liters of fuel. So gassing up in China, especially in the northwest, is not as easy as some of the other places.
Anyways, now that we've got our gas and the bike is packed up, we are ready to leave and begin our adventure. Today is the beginning of something new, a new experience for both you and I, something that I've never done before. Today is the first day of a 12-day solo journey on a Chinese-made 300cc dirt bike through northwest China, starting from Qinghai and hopefully making it all the way to Xinjiang. First though, I'll get you up to speed on where we are, how we got here, and what the plan is for today. I'll also do my best to explain the costs involved in a trip like this. So we are currently in the northwestern Chinese city of Xining, the capital of Qinghai province. And aside from picking up the bike and fighting to get it fueled in the city, I spent the whole morning trying to get a local SIM card with more data, but to no avail, and figuring out how to pack all of my gear into my 48-liter dry bag, which is now strapped to the back. The bike was sent up on a truck and took about a week to arrive. Yesterday, I took a 2-hour high-speed train from Shaoguan to Changsha to catch a 2.5-hour red-eye flight from Changsha to Xining. I didn't end up getting checked into the hotel until around 2 a.m. this morning, but so far the excitement has seemed to eliminate any feelings of fatigue. Let's get out of the city before I tell you about today's plan. Here we are coming up on a toll booth to leave the city. My plan is to just drive right through without stopping and hope for the best. The idea is that we will be able to squeeze between the barrier and the wall before they can run out and try to block me like they usually do in other parts of China. I have heard that motorcycles getting on the highway in northwestern China is much laxer than in the south, but we will soon find out. Alright, here goes nothing. Просто похуй. Okay, so here we go. We've made it through. A success. So to help explain where we are going today, let me pull out the map again. Today we are headed to Jiangxigou, a small Tibetan village on the edge of Qinghai Lake, near Gonghe County. I have an ethnic Tibetan friend who lives there, so we are going to stay with him for a couple nights. The total distance to get there should be around 212 kilometers, and take us around 3 hours and 20 minutes if we don't stop. But we will. This is not the fastest route, as Gonghe County is out of the way with it being to the south, but there should be some spectacular views I would like to show you guys, and overall be a bit more interesting than taking the highway. Not sure if you've been noticing the road signs, but all of them are in Tibetan in addition to Chinese. That's a sign we're headed in the right direction. So a little update here. Been driving for around an hour or so, and I'm really starting to feel the altitude affect the bike. Throttle maxed out and struggling to keep the bike at 60 miles per hour. No altimeter on the bike, but we must be close to 3,000 meters and we're still climbing. You can see big trucks like this one on the right are just absolutely struggling to make it up these inclines. Their engines are just starved of oxygen, rendering them almost powerless. Here's another one on the right struggling to make it up the incline, maxing out at 10 miles per hour. So, we have just stopped off at a rest stop here. Here, the altitude is 3,300 meters, and I can really feel that you can really feel the lack of oxygen in the throttle. It's like full throttle, 6th gear, going flat, maximum 65, maybe 70 miles an hour, and really struggling. "那个有矿泉水吗？ 那个。哦。 这得多少钱？ There we go. Gonna drink some grape flavored water that's supposed to replenish all the electrolytes and salts and all the stuff that you lose through sweat. So I've really got to keep this mask on here because with such high altitude, with it being 3,300 meters here, the UV rays are really strong, so you can get sunburned very quickly here. I forgot to mention that this is also my first time using the Insta360, so figuring out how to use it to produce the best results will require some trial and error. With this bike only being 300cc and the altitude being 3,000 meters plus, around 60 miles per hour is the max cruising speed for us, so that's why you see the traffic just blowing by. But no worries, we aren't in any hurry. Now that I've been driving on the highway for more than an hour, I've discovered an issue. So when I'm driving in 6th gear at highway speeds and then go to pull the clutch in, it all of a sudden becomes very stiff and I can't pull it in at all. Thus I can't disengage the clutch and cannot downshift. Never experienced anything like this before, so not really sure what it's about. But it's a bit spooky when you can't downshift or disengage the power to the rear wheel. Okay, nice and slow, don't make too much eye contact with the traffic police, and most importantly, don't stop. Anyways, it looks like they weren't interested in me at all, so that's good. I believe here is where we are going to get off the highway as well. Alright, here goes nothing. And another success. Now we can only hope that getting on and off the highway is this smooth for the rest of our trip. So, welcome to the town of Daotanghe, which is part of Gonghe County, but not Gonghe town itself. If that makes sense. A bit confusing, I know. Anyways, we've still got a ways to go before we hit Gonghe town. You can really feel that we are getting deeper into Tibetan country here. Now all the shop signs have the Tibetan letters in addition to the Chinese characters. Didn't see that in Xining. Looks like a pretty bleak place though. Could very well imagine tumbleweeds blowing through here. So it seems that the issue where I am unable to pull in the clutch only happens at high speeds. As you can see when riding around in 3rd and 4th gear, there are no issues at all. Now just look at that view. Wow. I can only hope that the view looks as good on the GoPro as it does in person. Such a surreal landscape without there being a tree in sight. Just grassy hill after grassy hill. Let's see what's up here. Here we go, boys. Looks like that lamb or goat, not sure what it is or how to tell the difference, but anyways, it looks like it's pretty tangled up over there. 那个上面你有一个羊的卡住了。就在那儿卡住了，它跑不出来的。就在那边，就在上面那儿。没事，拜拜。 Nothing says safety like standing up in the back of a 3-wheeled cart while it's barreling down the road. But then again, we make our own choices. So now I believe we are finally entering the town of Gonghe, and we need to find a mechanic because I have a strong feeling that this clutch is done for and needs replacing. Out here on the Tibetan Plateau, it's very common that you have a downward sloping road that goes on for tens of miles. So it's very important to be able to use your engine as a brake, and when I can't downshift, that becomes a bit spooky. So I want to nip this in the bud at the beginning of our trip. And see, just there, I even had to shut off the bike to be able to get it out of gear.
加满95。哦，加不了。为什么加不了？不让加，你去千层加吧。哦，开个正美行不行？不行。为什么不行？这不能，这不是指定加油地方，指定加油地方在县里面。县里面什么地方？县城里面进去有个石油，中国石油。哦，这样的。慢走。
So this issue with the clutch has gotten progressively worse to the point now where it even happens at low speeds and low gears. Well, we are off to a hell of a start here. First the utter chaos of getting gas in Xining, and now the clutch not disengaging when I want it to. But then again, this is all part of the adventure. Again, can't disengage the clutch. Shut the bike off, turn it back on, and it almost resets itself. Really weird. Just driving around here trying to find a mechanic and seeing all these signs first in Tibetan and then in Chinese is very interesting. So after just checking the GPS here, it looks like we should be coming up on a mechanic here on our right.
师傅，那个摩托车能修啊？我们修不了这个，修不了的。啊，我们修不了。我这个问题应该很简单的，就是那个离合线。你要到下面。到下面呢？啊。到下面什么地方呢？你看吧，你导航导吧，下面有个圆弹修的。圆弹是吧？对，我们这修不了。
Not sure if he didn't want to fix it or couldn't fix it, but one thing is for sure is that he certainly didn't even seem interested to even take a look at it. Hopefully this so-called yuandan exists and we can get this sorted in Gonghe. Off on the left there, across the dried up river, you can see one of the biggest mosques in the area. An interesting fact about mosques in China is in recent years there has been a big push to Sinicize mosques, and a big part of that Sinicization is having them reconstructed in a so-called more Chinese style with less of the Middle Eastern or traditional Islamic influence. So that is why you see it with a traditional Chinese style roof, and the Kaabas on top, which symbolize the vaults of heaven, which would typically be very big, have been made very small.
你们这能修吗？我不知道这个，好像这个离合线有点问题的。 有的时候捏这个离合，感觉那个离合有点不分离的那种感觉。嗯，推进去。问一下他。哎，师傅能帮我看一下那个离合线吗？哎呀，那修车的人没有吧？啊？修车的人没有呗。不能修车。哎，你稍微往下走一下就有。这不是有个什么是元旦那个？ 不是，这儿很隔壁还有一个。你到上面走去吧。你这不是修摩托车的吗？我是买摩托。去什么地方去修？到处一点，你下面去一点。万一不是往上面住医院，长路上去多。我刚去了，他们说也修不了的。我感觉谁都不想修。就是。为什么？不想修。为什么不想修？不会修，修不来。没有，很简单的一个问题的，就是一个离合线来的。 我没有。那你说去哪里修？他原来让我刚才去那个地方，他让我导航去那个元旦。那你就下面去，下面去。下面去，就直行是吧？直行这边就到那个路口往右转。这么转，在那里去。咋了？离合器不好吧？就这个离合线，感觉有时候它有点不分离那种感觉。你这个零件啥都没有啊，这个车的。什么零件呢？ 这不是这不是说要换，而是要调的。调好也可以啊，现在你这个离合器可以啊。哎，可以、啊。但不，我知道，但有时候它就就有点捏不住啊。是吧？就有点像它卡住了一样的。上面不修好，哎。
你那，
去哪里？
这个稍微往前走一下，有个桥头。
嗯，
往这边还有一下，你看一下，那个专门修车，不远。
不远的，就专门修摩托车的。
前面有个小桥，
专门修这字。
有个小桥，桥过去，你就有一个台在上面去，你看牌子有。
好，我看一下。Well, looks like nobody gives a fuck. That's for sure. 那个摩托车能修吗？好像那个离合线，我不知道，有时候就捏那个牛角的时候，那个离合就不分离的。我感觉那个离合线有点问题的。
那你这个离合器线没有呗？
这个应该不是说要换，而是要调的。现在没事，但有时候就开着，就像减档的时候就捏，它就是有点，就是感觉有阻挡的，有这种感觉。
捏不动那个样子。
对，就捏不动的。
有时候捏的话就特别重，捏不动。
对，就是这个感觉。
只能就把线稍微调紧一点。它是离合器片是这样的噻，时间长了它这样磨着这里磨的卡槽噻。这是啥车？
这个叫Voge 300GY。
这种车还没见过。
你这应该没有离合片吧？
没有，你这个车上的啥也没有，可能是链条有。
链条没事的。
你现在摩托车这个东西，10个其实来的话，10种车型的都不一样的。你这个要么咋？你这个那个啥？先简单弄一下呢，这就我估计不是线的问题。
你觉得是离合片的问题是吧？
这种现象我们也遇到过一些。现在捏的话重得很，这个线也马上要断了。你现在去哪里？
我现在是要跑到那个青海湖那边。
下一站去哪里？往哪边走？
就是往那个格尔木那个方向。
那你就这个离合器线发个原厂的，这个线你看断掉了，这里断了一根钢丝，这个钢丝断了以后噻。只要断一根的话，再去快得很。
就那个是吗？
对，发到格尔木，你明天后天就到了呗。
江西购你知不知道？
知道。
发到那边可不可以？因为我今天就是这几天我要去那边就见朋友。
可以是可以嘛？那你发到江西购，你要等到最快的话，你现在发货的话，最快后天早上才到。你要那边住2、3天的话，行吗？
我就不知道那边有没有人可以修
摩托车的有那边。
因为你知道在这个公河我跑了很多地方，他们说不修。
那你咋找到这边来
的？我就是刚去了对面，后来他说就说对面可以。
先换个离合器线吧，先换个离合器线了再说。线马上不行了，你现在给这个售后打电话噻。
你
发上2根离合器线，发上1根油门线，这样的话离合器线到了以后装上1根离合器线，备用1个油门线1个离合器线。
为什么2个离合线？
你现在来的话立马装了1个呗，还剩1根呗。你备用呗，油门线也备用1个呗，这些断掉。
然后那个离合片，你觉得要买吗？
离合器片不一定了。
但你不是说它已经磨损的那种吗？
在这个你只能要么先把线换上，以后你再试吧。这种毛病很少遇上，你说的这种毛病。你这个螺丝咋松掉的嘛？这螺丝松掉着，你看后轮螺丝松掉，你把后轮螺丝没紧上去。你看，这个螺丝你。是不是调的链条？刚才
最近我换了这个轮胎。
啥时候换的？
前几天吧。
那这个螺丝肯定没紧上面，这个螺丝一般。